Hi everybody, welcome to Facebook Live. I'm Martha Stewart, I hope you know that. And today we're doing a whole menu, a delicious menu that I'm sure will interest you. And I have with me none other than Curtis Stone, who hails originally from Australia, where I first met you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was that? I was trying to remember.
I think it's more than 10 years ago.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. We had a very nice time there. And
Absolutely.
It was so interesting, down under, as they say, learning about the peculiar and delicious foods of Australia.
Right.
And today, Curtis actually lives now in Los Angeles, where he has two fabulous restaurants. We're going out there tomorrow.
Great.
To start taping our Martha and Snoop potluck dinner.
I want to hear all about it. It
It's
sounds
very
so
fun.
much fun.
Didn't they ask you to be a guest yet?
Not yet.
Oh, well, they're probably going to ask you.
I'll be there.
And it's a lot of fun. Snoop and I are cooking, sort of competing, but not really.
Right.
I mean, how can you compete with Snoop, right?
It's hilarious.
My fried chicken is better than his, but he says it's not.
Is that right?
Yes, and his only takes, I think he says his takes 6 minutes, and mine takes 3 days, so.
And one of the first times I was on your show, he was the guest.
Oh.
And I made a wisecrack about vanilla beans.
Uh-oh.
And I was showing you, we're making a creme brulee, and I was rolling the vanilla beans in my hand like this, and I said, you do this to loosen up the vanilla, and you said, oh, I've never seen that before, that's really clever. And I said, yes, Snoop showed me in the dressing room in the back. And
Did he get mad?
one of his minders got a little angry with me.
But now it's all legal. They grow it out there in big warehouses.
Right, it's crazy, isn't it?
But that's why we call it potluck dinner, and it's going to be very fun. It's a very fun show. I got my wardrobe down. At least. Yeah, I had to be cool. So, but enough of Snoop. You'll be seeing plenty of that this fall.
Yes.
And Curtis, I hope you do come on the show.
I'm looking forward to it.
But today we're doing several things. We're making a cocktail, and a cocktail which is one of your favorites. And you grow these passion fruits come from Curtis's garden. So show the ripe and unripe.
So this is the unripe. This is pretty
on the verge
much
of getting ripe.
Right. It'll either fall off the vine like that, or maybe even like this, which is even worse. But it'll fall off the vine like that, and then of course it'll ripen. You'll see the skin gets a little wrinkly, and it gets juicier.
The older it gets, the juicier it gets.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. Like if you cut this, it'll barely have any have any juice in it.
But you want to show the inside because if you haven't really utilized passion fruit, which are native actually to Brazil, Paraguay, northern Argentina. Oh boy, this is one of my favorite things. See this? It's full of greenish seeds and lots of very fragrant sweet juice. Oh, and that's a different one, look.
And that's a different variety.
Maybe it's just because it's not so ripe.
Right, and you'll see the walls have broken down here, much thinner, and then that turns into this delicious juice and fabulous fruit. Aren't they great?
Oh, I love these so much.
My mum used to give them to us as kids, and we'd just sit there with a little spoon and eat it out.
That's the best way.
I say it's summer citrus, because it's of course not a citrus, but it has such acidity to it. It's really beautiful.
Oh, here, you need a spoon.
Okay.
Can I have another spoon so I can eat one? These are so good.
Aren't they great?
So show how you get the juice out of it.
So look, you literally just...
I know you were going to eat that, but don't.
Spoon that out and you'll see...
Look how much juice.
Some people strain the seeds, but they're totally edible and actually really quite delicious.
So if you see these little wrinkly fruits in your grocery store, don't be afraid to buy one. If they have any mold on them, leave them. But if they look like that,
Aren't they beautiful?
Come in really close on these. Show the best ones.
So that sort of purplish colour is probably what you're looking more for. And truthfully, they look very ugly from the outside, but the beauty is all on the inside, so don't be fooled.
And the seeds are edible. They're very good. Vitamin C galore.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
And we're at the height of their season right now. So these were $5 a piece in California only 2 months ago.
And how many are you getting in
Because they're out of
vine?
season. And I'd look at the price and I'd be like, oh, come on, get ripe, I'll be rich. I get hundreds off my vine. It's quite an invasive vine, actually. I planted it in a hedge. I planted it on the back of the house.
And it's growing everywhere, right?
Yeah, beautiful purple
There is a
flower.
North American variety that's winter-proof, and it's perennial in my garden, and it doesn't really make big fruits. It just makes little fruits, and they're not tasty like this.
Right.
But I'm going to try.
California.
As the climate warms and the oceans rise, more and more things can be grown everywhere. So I'm going to try. I grow kiwis.
Do you really?
Oh, delicious kiwis in Maine.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
And who would have ever thought that kiwis would survive Maine? And they've been on my house since 1925. When they were originally planted by Edsel Ford.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
We're doing all kinds of research on them.
Martha's garden's a little larger than mine, just so you know. So I thought I'd make you a passion fruit cocktail. So we took the passion fruit juice, and I cooked it with a little sugar, and we've turned it into a syrup. We strained the seeds out. So
cooked it. Okay.
Yeah, you can have a taste of that if you like. But it's basically a passion fruit syrup.
Oh.
And what we're going to do is a vodka-based cocktail.
Oh wow!
Isn't that good?
That is good.
So really simply, we
you didn't even need sugar, though. I mean, it's sweet, but
it's so sweet naturally.
Okay.
Yeah, we just sort of cooked it down, reduced it a little to get
the recipe's going to be on Facebook on Martha Stewart. So you don't have to worry about writing it down. It's all there. And you have your how to make the syrup.
So you know how to make the syrup.
Vodka.
So equal quantities of vodka and passion fruit. That's sort of the important part.
And good quality vodka.
Make sure you get
I
good
like
vodka.
Imperia. You like Tito.
I like Tito.
Okay, is Tito? Oh, Tito's made in Texas, right?
It is, yeah.
American made.
I love that about it.
Imperia's made in St. Petersburg.
Is it?
Yeah.
They're both good vodkas. The truth is about vodka, you get what you pay for. So you know, shell it out, baby. I love this measuring cup because it's got all the measurements down there, so you can literally just pour, as much as you want, and then you stop at 2 ounces, let's say.
Okay.
So this is a 6 ounces. It will be in the recipe, but truthfully,
just for 2 of us.
This is just for 2. So
we have some friends over here. We have advertisers.
Yes.
McCormick Spices.
Oh, spicy men.
Yes, they're over there. Just take a little. This is who watches our show live. You're watching it live, audience, but these are live. And our publisher, Darren Mazurka. Take a picture of Darren. Wave, Darren. There he is. You're on Facebook Live. And Judy Morris, who does all our live TV appearances. This morning, we already were on the Today Show promoting our beautiful vegetables book.
How great.
Today's the launch of vegetables. I'm going to talk about a lot of things today because I'm a little bit talkative. Oh, Aperol, my favorite aperitif.
Isn't it great?
Oh, I love it.
And it's so good in this. So I put about half the quantity of Aperol than I do of vodka.
Okay.
And then the same with the lemon juice.
Aperol is made out of all kinds of herbs and I think rhubarb.
Is that right?
Yeah.
You're teaching me something. I didn't
And
know.
and it is delicious. We make
It
Aperol.
smells a bit like that.
Yeah, doesn't it?
It has definitely other spices in there, but
Just the rhubarb stalks, not the rhubarb leaves, which are oxalic acid and deadly
will kill you.
poisonous.
Yeah, don't eat the leaves.
Where you got the cup, the measuring
This?
cup.
Where did we get that? I think we got that at Macy's. That's Martha Collection at Macy's. This is Martha Collection. This is Martha Collection. And this is Martha Collection. See, we can sort of
You can just
promote all this
plug away.
stuff.
I like it.
Oh, and this is Martha. How many of you have this?
That's so good.
It is so good.
It really is.
And it's cute because ours come in colors.
Right.
Usually, when you buy these in like Mexico or South America, they're made out of aluminum, but these are enameled and they are so pretty in the kitchen. And are you gonna? Oh, you're making an egg. Oh, you're putting egg white in it.
I'm putting egg white.
Oh.
Just an egg white.
Notice I didn't read the recipe. I wanted to be surprised. And those are my eggs.
These are beautiful
Aren't they?
eggs.
Look how beautiful.
Why are they green?
Well, they're different kinds of
Different
chickens.
types of chickens. Oh, it's gorgeous.
Yeah. So when you use this little juicer for the lemon juice, always cut off that little tip of the lemon, that little end, and the stem end too if you want.
Give it a flat bottom. It's
Well,
the only
yeah,
time
because
that a flat bottom is attractive, ladies and gentlemen. I know because I have one.
Oh, you have a flat
No matter how
bottom?
many squats I do, I have a flat bottom.
So then this, you see, you put the cut side down, and then you just squeeze. No reason. Look how much juice comes out of here. Pretty much all the juice comes out of a piece of citrus. This is good for limes, oranges, lemons, and if you get a giant one, also grapefruit. But look at that. Isn't that great? Yeah, I love these. Because you don't have to dirty a whole big juicing machine just to get the juice of one lemon.
It's great.
Yeah, and there's no mess. Nice.
And you
Okay.
use lemon and lime in cooking so often.
Oh, I
so
do.
It's,
Yeah.
it's so
They're
good.
very
to,
handy to have.
So good to have it. So we've got lemon juice, our passion fruit syrup, Aperol, Tito's vodka.
And how much egg white?
And so if you're going to make a full serve of this, you'd use one. You'd use
drink?
one per person. Yeah. So we're doing 2. So I'm going to put 1. Let's do maybe another
So now
half.
make sure that your eggs are ultra fresh. These were just laid yesterday. I brought you the freshest.
They're beautiful,
Okay.
and you can tell that because
And
they're.
I'm not kidding. Everybody's giggling. I have chickens. I have 200 chickens in my chicken yard.
200 chickens.
Yep.
Martha.
And they're laying like crazy right now.
I bet they
Yeah,
are.
they're very happy.
Yeah. Okay, so what we do next is you go ahead and pour that into the stainless steel shaker, and you give it a quick shake before you add any ice.
Are you going to be Tom Cruise for me?
I'm not. Okay, I will.
Be Tom Cruise.
You give it a good shake, right?
Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Cocktail.
I'm just scared that I'm going to
It's
throw
not-
this into the cameraman's face. Sorry, buddy, I'll give it a shot.
No, don't spill it. Don't drop it.
So you want to shake
Look,
it
it's getting fluffy.
until it's nice and frothy, right? So what you're basically doing is you're breaking up that egg white, that albumin that the egg white has. You want to sort of break that up a little, right? And then what we're going to do, if I can get it off, is add the ice.
Oh.
The reason you shake it first is because the ice starts to melt, and once that ice starts to melt, you're diluting
Your
the cocktail.
drink. So put these in here?
Yep, go ahead. We'll take 3. I'm going to get some glasses.
Oh, you have. Oh, show the glasses are in the freezer, guys.
Yes.
Always chill your glasses.
I love that.
Chill your beer glasses, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you pouring a beer into a frosted glass is so good. How much ice?
That's good. How many did you put?
Okay, 4 or 5.
4.
I don't
That's
know.
good. Okay. So now you want to shake it just for about 60 seconds. And that'll give you the right amount of dilution. I've learned all this from Mitch, my bartender at Gwen. We have a deal.
Okay, so what are the names of your restaurants?
Gwen is the new one, the
Yeah.
one that you're going to come to when you're in LA.
Yeah.
That's the one with the butcher shop.
Oh, yeah.
Now you want to wait
Who's
until you
Gwen?
get. Gwen was my granny.
Oh, okay.
My granny. So you want to wait until you get a nice frost on the outside of the shaker, and then
And
you
it
stop.
looks so beautiful. It's like a peachy color.
It is, isn't it? And the egg white, a lot of people are out there saying, why on earth does he put egg white into the drink? The egg white gives it its texture, it adds a little protein, but it also gives it this beautiful frothy consistency.
Look how beautiful. And no ice in the glass.
No ice in the glass.
Okay.
So the shaking has caused that to get to the right
Wow.
temperature.
Pretty
So
nice.
Will wants to know, can you make it without the egg?
Without
You-
the egg white?
You
could,
can,
right,
yeah, you absolutely can.
Yeah, actually, I think if you used crushed ice, it would get a little bit frothier, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yep,
Could
yep.
you do it in the blender too?
You could put it in a blender.
Yeah, you could
It's
have
a
a
good idea.
frosted one made out of just ice, no egg white. But this looks so beautiful.
And once it sits for just a minute, all of that egg white, it'll give you a beautiful sort of.
Ooh, you know what I would do?
Come on, show me.
I would just gild the lily. I would put a tiny bit of Aperol on the
A
top.
little float. Ooh, I like that.
Just a little. See how pretty?
Nice.
You want a little on yours?
Yeah, come on.
If you have this in a little pitcher, it's actually works better. Like a swirl.
Beautiful.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers, my dear.
Thank you for coming today. It's really
Of
fun to
course.
have you here.
Nice to see you.
And what a great idea for a cocktail, passion fruit.
Oh, yeah.
I could drink the whole drink.
I think I'm gonna.
That means it's really good. Yummy. Oh, good. So why don't
Delicious.
we go and make salads, and we're going to also show you kind of might be slightly gruesome to some of you, but how to clean and cook calamari or squid,
Nice.
which is running right now.
Yeah, it's a great time of
Yeah,
year for it.
we're getting it right out of our water in Maine.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's so fun. We go jigging for squid. Okay, Darren, here, taste the cocktail. Come here. Darren, our publisher.
Cheers.
There. Oh,
Thank you.
good. Oh, it's nice.
Thank
You wore
you.
a very nice shirt today.
When
Isn't
I'm
that
here,
good?
delicious.
Isn't that
Do you like
good?
it?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm going to Italy in a few weeks. I'm going to have this cocktail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really great. They
Good.
don't make that in Italy. They
I'm
make
gonna
that in
ask.
Argentina.
Okay.
Have it all you want. Okay, so we are going to let's do this. Want to do salad first?
Do the
or should
salad
we
first?
Well, let's prepare the calamari first.
Sure.
Okay, because what you really want in calamari is this nice white tube, right?
Yep.
Doesn't have any, it's fabulous, fresh, icy, cold, beautiful, tender
Gorgeous.
calamari. So that's what you want, but you usually start with this, which is a little frightening, right?
Until you get used to it.
That's the head, and a little this the little tentacles, and then those are the eyes, and these are the innards. So do you pull this whole thing out first?
I sure do.
So just pull this out. I taught my 5-year-old Jude, granddaughter,
Yep.
how to clean a squid.
Oh.
She cleaned a whole pile of them for
I
me.
bet she loved it.
She loved it. She loved it. So I cut off the head right here. Is that where you cut it off?
Yep, absolutely.
And if I do anything wrong, just tell me. But I think that that's a nice head.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep that in a bowl right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's something really exciting inside. And I pull that out.
Right, which
That's
is
what
the
got
sort
her. That's what got her.
It's the cartilage, which
Yeah.
feels a little bit like a bone that runs the entire
But it's
length of
like
the
a
tube.
clear piece of cellophane. Look at
There you
this.
go.
That's the backbone, really, kind of the squid. And squid have how many little legs?
Let's count them.
I think they're 8.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're right.
They're like octopus. And then you take these
You
little
take that flap off, or
Yeah.
the wings off, which is actually how it moves through the water.
and you can just pull these off.
Exactly.
And it's not hard to do, and it's actually, I think it's better to get them this way, because then you know you have ultra fresh
Beautiful fresh squid.
calamari to cook.
Absolutely.
Pull this off. You can pull them off or you can cut them off, right?
Yep, that should just separate right
Yeah,
up the top
yeah.
there.
Slippery.
And then
There
you
it
just
goes.
go ahead and pull
And then
it.
just pull all that reddish skin off the white. Now you can fry that too if you want.
It has a little bit of a tougher texture,
Yeah,
doesn't
it
it, than
does,
the
it
usual
does. And
tube,
then
but it's still edible.
I just scrape this off, and it pulls off to the skin. Look how it just pulls right off. So if you're not squeamish, and you shouldn't be, because this is a squid, there's nothing to be afraid of. And then I trim this before I start cutting the rings, just a little bit, like that. And then I cut it right into rings. Is that about the right size, would you say?
Perfect. Nice.
Now, are you serving calamari in your restaurants, or?
We're not at the moment, but now that you've just reminded me that it's a
And
good
it's
time
one of the
year.
most, it's very good for you, and it is also very inexpensive.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and if you have a house in Maine right near the water, we go down to the dock at night in the dark, and you have a big light, and you shine it into the water, and all the squid are attracted to the light.
Oh, is that right?
And then you put this special squid jig, it's called.
Yep.
Has all little hooks going like this, and the squid bite onto it. And you pull them up.
I've never been squidding before.
The kids love to do that
I
at night
bet.
in the dark. So there,
fun.
we have beautiful squid, and I'll just put them in here.
And the great thing about it too is you've cut them into rings, but you can also cut them into different pieces.
Any comments? No comments from our viewers?
Someone was actually asking why is it actually called calamari?
That's Italian. That's the Italian name for this
I had no idea.
To remind people to ask questions.
for this squid. Yeah. Oh, please
Yeah,
ask questions
ask questions.
if you have any. So I'll do this.
Okay.
And
So actually, Joel wants to know, should you rinse it off after you cleaned it?
yeah, I do. I rinse the whole thing.
And the truth is, you don't need to when it's super fresh.
Yeah, you don't have to, right.
You don't need to, but you absolutely can.
Yeah, don't over rinse it. Don't soak it in water because it's not necessary. You want that taste of the sea in your beautiful calamari rings. So when they're fried, they're like little rings. That's what they are. So I'll cut these up, and
Okay.
why don't you start on the salad?
I'll make a salad. So what I've got over here is we call them sea beans in
Don't
America.
you love his accent? Oh my gosh.
We call it samphire in Europe. I kind of think samphire sounds nicer than sea beans, but anyway, it grows in the ocean, of course, and it's got a beautiful sort of salinity to it. So we're going to char some of those, and I'm going to make a fennel salad because to me,
You're charring them. How do you
Yeah.
char them? Just in a pan?
in a red hot pan. So
Ah.
we do them at the restaurant over a live fire, which is nice because you get some smokiness. But we'll do it in a hot pan. And they only take 30 seconds, 60 seconds at
I
the
was
most.
taught to call them pousse-pied. Pousse-pied in French means push with the feet. And so when you're in the water, you're pushing it with your feet.
Oh, is that right?
You know, and you pick it up with your toes. That's it might be a different kind of
That's
seaweed.
even
But
prettier than samphire.
yeah, well, it's whatever.
Is this from your garden, Martha? These beautiful
fennel.
fennel?
Yeah, the fennels are from my garden. The zucchinis, the tomatoes. These are the baby zucchinis that I like to fry. Do you like fried zucchini?
Oh yeah, it's so good. And
We have
that's
a big pot of oil over here too for the calamari, heating up to. We want it at about is it 300 degrees or 310? Oh, higher, 350.
For frying?
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, 350.
Is it 350?
I forget my own recipe. I just made this last week. How can I forget? I could forget. Yeah, I try. You know, I just drop one in and see how
you
it
do want it
cooks.
quite hot when you're cooking calamari, don't you?
Yes.
It cooks so fast.
Yeah. It's just a couple, not even a minute sometimes, but we'll see.
Wilson is asking, some people say to soak squid in milk or buttermilk. Does that do anything to tenderize the squid or not?
Well, I have heard that. I've never tried it. So, but these are so small and fresh, and some squid are pretty big and ugly. You don't really want those. I think the smaller they are, the more tender they are.
So
So
true.
I don't think you have to soak them. Do you soak yours in milk at all?
I don't know. And,
But
I have heard it as well. I think if you get, squid can be literally this long, so it gets really a thick wall, if you imagine. So it can be quite tough. So there's all sorts of different ways of doing it. I think the best way is to open the tube and then just score it across and cut it into cubes.
Like the way you eat it in a Japanese restaurant.
Right.
Sushi, yeah. That's pretty too.
So Lorraine would like to know, where can you buy sea beans?
Good question.
Are they most
Look,
No, they're not.
they're not easy to find. And the truth is, we buy them from purveyors and use them in the restaurant. But if you wanted to find something, this recipe works perfectly without it, by the way. You can just omit it. But you can ask your local purveyor if you have a good fruit and vegetable store and ask them whether they can source it for you. Because they're becoming more and more popular. That's how we get things into grocery stores, by the way, by people asking about it. And then eventually,
Showing them on Facebook Live, and then the customer goes and begs the purveyor for some of that delicious, those delicious ingredients. Now, when you said, do you fry yours in rings, your calamari, or do you split it?
I fry it in rings.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, both. You can do either. I'm just picking some of these beautiful fennel fronds. They're so fresh.
Aren't they beautiful?
Oh, magic. And then with a mandolin.
I'm mad at Ryan, my gardener, for picking those because I was saving those for Thanksgiving.
Oh, really?
Not Thanksgiving, but autumnal dinners.
Right.
But no, they're the right size. I like them that size.
You're in trouble, mate.
Ryan.
Ruined Martha's Thanksgiving. Not many people can say that, Ryan. Congratulations. So I've got this beautiful little fennel bulb. Thank you for picking it though, because it's so delicious and sweet when they're this young. I'm just going to slice it on this mandolin, and look how beautiful and thin you get. This is one of the best tools you will ever buy. It's so helpful to have a good mandolin because you can look at the texture you get from these beautiful thin pieces.
And so much faster than with a knife.
Oh yeah, and you can't do it with a knife. You can't do it that fast.
So Jennifer would like to know, she's never had fennel. What type of flavor does it have?
Ah,
How would you describe it, Martha?
sort of in the licorice family.
Right.
Yeah, it's the anise family. It's very delicious and very healthy too. Very rich and it has iron and lots of other good nutrients that it makes it. I have friends who eat it for breakfast because they want those nutrients. Very good.
Yeah, it's so good. And the great thing about it is you can eat it raw, like this, which is how we're going to serve it as a salad. It also chars really well. You can throw it on the grill, and you get a beautiful caramelized effect on it. It turns into a puree really well. It's one of those beautiful, versatile veggies.
Isabel was asking about the black ink.
They're pretty clean. Maybe the fishmongers. These didn't come from Maine. We had to get these this morning at Italy. Italy is a great store on 23rd Street on the west side. that is an amazing market. You've been to Italy, haven't you?
Oh, it's great.
Oh,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it great?
really
But you
good.
have one in LA now.
It's coming soon.
Oh,
Yeah, not yet, not yet.
there's one in
There's one in Chicago. They do a great job. So once you've got this beautiful thinly sliced fennel like that, you start building your salad. So that goes as the base of your salad there. And then I've got some celery hearts. You know, a lot of people they use the outer stalks and then they get down to these little pieces and don't know what to do with it. So this is a great way to use it. Same thing. Give it the Martha Stewart's mandolin treatment.
Someone was asking, so
What?
where the mandolin is from.
Oh, from our housewares collection at Macy's. We have a great wall of good, useful utensils. And if you haven't visited, you should really go. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be at Macy's in California, in Los Angeles. Does anybody know the address? Which Macy's I'm going to be in where?
Delamo,
Delamo, in Delamo, right outside of Los Angeles on Saturday at what time? 3 o'clock to sign my new vegetable book. So any of you who are watching, please come and visit me out there. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do a demo, and Thomas is out there, and Judy's coming, and we're going to be talking about vegetables.
And Sarah's going.
What? Oh, Sarah's going. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Oh my God.
Not
Yeah.
a lot of people make me feel lazy, but you make me feel quite lazy. You know, I'm a busy man, but every time I see you, you've just done another book, and you're just doing another world tour.
87th book, Curtis.
87th book.
87th fabulous book.
Most people are happy if they sell 87 copies these days, and you've written 87 books.
Isn't that great?
It's amazing. You should be so proud.
It's a really wonderful library of books. And you know what really is irritating? If I want to make something and it's not in any one of those 87 books. And that's what keeps us going, making books, because we find the void. That's the secret, is finding the void that you haven't done yet. It's so funny.
So I've mixed those celery hearts and the fennel together, just like that. It's time to char those sea beans. So you see I've got this pan
Like, do we
scorching
have
hot.
instructions on how to clean squid in any book?
We might have done it in cooking school.
I don't know, but we should think about that, because I just want, and we do not have a really simple recipe like the one I'm going to show now for frying the calamari.
We will now.
We are going to, because it goes into our library.
Get ready, ladies and gentlemen.
Let me
Number
see.
88 has just been spawned.
The book of
Squid only.
Are you
Look,
squidding joking?
While I've been talking, I've done all these squid.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
I'm not sure if she's telling me I'm slow or she's fast, but either way.
No, you're doing
What do
fantastically.
you do with the heads? Do you also
Oh, I
them?
fry those. Oh, the
Yeah.
children love eating the heads of the squid. Now, I have extraordinary grandchildren who eat everything, but they examine it all. But if you give a kid a whole squid to clean, you get to understand what the heck is going on, and they're not turned off, and they're not. They don't run away from it, and they actually learn a lot about where their food comes from. So I think it's good, and especially if they can catch them. Do you have any children, Curtis?
Yeah, 2 little boys.
And are they fishermen?
Well, I haven't taken them fishing yet.
How old are they?
Hudson's 4, turning 5.
It's fine.
So yeah, it is time. They're keen gardeners. They love
are.
it.
Oh, good.
They absolutely love it. And you're absolutely right. The more you get your kids involved with food.
Oh, I smell that seaweed.
Do you smell that?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, it gives it this beautiful, you know, like toasted nori, similar thing. You get this beautiful sort of toasty flavor to it. So you don't cook it too long. You just want to char it. So just a little bit of that sort of beautiful dark color that we're getting. I'm going to give it
yeah.
10 more seconds and take it out.
But if you had a grill going outside, or you could just put them on the grill too.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way.
Yeah.
So we turn that off. And as soon as you sort of smell that beautiful char, that's what you're looking for. That smell will translate into flavor. So I'm going to take that out and just let it cool before I add it to my salad. And then some beautiful fresh herbs. I've got some parsley and some chives over here, so I'm just going to chop these up.
Like a very nice salad.
Also a little fennel pollen, which is really nice.
Oh yeah, talk about fennel pollen, because that is very healthy for you too.
Oh, is it? I didn't even know the health benefits of it.
Full of good nutrients.
So you buy it just like this. You know, you'll see it in a little tin. It's got such a beautiful aroma. It's in fact the strongest part of the fennel. So it's literally the pollen that comes out of the flowers. So somebody harvests those flowers and shakes the pollen out once it's dried, and you buy it like this. And you can add it to salads. You can add it to pastas. It's a really beautiful little seasoning tool. There you go. Someone asked me if I had a secret weapon in the kitchen. Maybe I'll say that's my secret ingredient.
That's a good thing. Fennel pollen.
Fennel pollen. So chives and parsley.
And it's colorful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. You can put some tarragon, you know, whatever fresh herbs you've got available that are soft will work. So we add that to the fennel and the celery. I've got some little micro cilantro there. Toss that in as well. And you literally just sort of toss that through. And then I went ahead and pickled some red onions. Well, I didn't, but someone did it for me. Which are right here. Yeah. So, you know, pickling, it's such a beautiful way to get, it's a preserving method, of course. But here,
How did you do these?
so this is done with a little bit of vinegar, a little bit of sugar, a little water, some kosher salt,
Red wine vinegar.
red wine vinegar, some tarragon.
Tarragon.
And it's
And
literally
it's
just
a really
slightly-
nice flavor to it. Yeah, those are delicious.
It's really good.
Look how pretty this looks.
So that'll bring some real brightness and acidity to our salad. Use as much as you like. And then we add our sea beans and a little extra virgin olive oil. There are our charred beans there. So let's toss that together. And I always use my hands in the kitchen. I think they're the best tools you've got. So you can make sure they're clean.
I was going to say,
Be sure to
Wash your hands.
Use your hands. Use your hands. I'm going to put some more of those onions. They're so good.
I'm being your cleanup chef.
Thank you. It's not every day you get a clean-up chef named Martha Stewart. A little bit more of that vinegar
That
water.
is so beautiful. Oh, and this is going to go into?
That's going to go back in, the fronds that we picked. Some extra virgin olive oil. Use a good quality one. Put the fronds back. Save a couple to put on the top. And toss it again. And you know, it's a raw salad, so you know how healthy it is. Well, I guess we charred the beans, but the sea beans, but you know, it's super healthy. You haven't lost any nutrients through cooking, and it's just going to be, it's sort of pops of vinegar and pops of anise that we spoke about, that licorice sort of flavor that works so well. The fennel pollen, I add just a little, and then I dust it at the end as well. A little salt,
Beautiful.
a little black pepper.
I'm having a good lunch today.
And that's it. It's super healthy, but it's like the perfect little accompaniment to something. Come out the front.
Great. So now we're going to start frying the calamari. And, oh yeah, you're going to put that there?
I'm not sure if that's what it was for.
I think that's for the calamari.
Oh no!
That's okay, don't worry, it looks pretty in there. And this is for the calamari sauce, but we'll just put that here.
Sorry. I thought that as soon as I started pouring it in. Why is there a saucepan?
I just need a little strainer to sift the... I'm checking the temperature. Oh, good, thank you. I just want to sift the...
So I love this. You know, the first time we were on a show together, I made fried zucchini blossoms with taleggio, and you walked onto the set and you looked around and you said, "Where's my thermometer in the oil?" And it was such a smart question, because if you don't have a thermometer in your oil, there's absolutely no way that you can be 100% sure that it's the right temperature for you. So
Except if you're a chef like Curtis, who knows exactly, just by looking at the oil, what the temperature is.
well,
But for home
it's
cooks,
smart
you know, you have to
coordinate.
help people. So here, we're just going to coat this with cornstarch
Great,
and a little salt.
love it.
And so you just put your rings of calamari in the cornstarch. Now cornstarch, I did a lot of research about how do you get it nice and crispy, and, but you agree that cornstarch is a good coating, right?
It's a great coating. And it'll get a little sticky, and that's okay. That stickiness will actually just enhance the...
I just didn't cut through, that's bad.
the beautiful crispiness.
Yeah, so you can put a pile of these here and get them ready, and then start frying them. Does that look good to you?
That looks great.
Do you use any extra seasoning or just the cornstarch?
Salt.
Just salt, okay.
Yeah. And you can shake these up. I like shaking them off. This is heavier cornstarch than what I had in Maine. I don't know why. But you could also put them back in the strainer and shake them like that, right? Yes.
Right.
I think I'll do that. Yes. Oh, yes. This makes them lighter. Want to fry?
Sure. So if you're going to drop them in, there's a way to drop something into a fry to make sure you don't burn yourself. You drop it in away from yourself, so you just sort of let it go in the other direction to where you are.
That's a very good hint.
But it's also, you know, especially if it's a bigger thing, if it's a slice of zucchini or something, for instance, you let it drop. So if there is ever a splash, it's going in the opposite direction to you.
Yeah, we don't want to get burned by oil.
But this is also really helpful. So you can drop it in there, and then that's it.
Kat
Well, look.
wants to know, can you use panko instead of cornstarch?
It's not the same thing because we don't have a batter. We don't have anything to dip it in first to get the panko to adhere to the. But you can use flour. People do use flour. People use. Well, you do like a tempura batter.
Right. If you were going to use panko, what I'd suggest is first you dust it with a little flour.
Maybe the milk.
Put it through some milk or some egg, and then go ahead and crumb it with the panko
I
there.
just love the touch of cornstarch. Don't you love that?
So great, that chalky sort
Silky.
of
Yeah.
feeling you get, yeah.
And the temperature again of the oil is 360?
Yeah, we have it a little
It
less,
was
but just let
a
it.
little lower. But what you have to remember is you're going to add something cold to something hot, right? That's what gives you the reaction, and that's what you're looking for. But don't forget, you're going to reduce the temperature of the oil, which is why the thermometer is so great. Because you look at it, and it went from like 320, it's dipped just below 300 now, and that was just with a really small batch. So that's the right way.
Oh, and we have a
to do it.
screen. Oh, I love using the screen because
Right,
they
so it
do.
never pops. Yeah.
The moisture in the calamari might pop at you, so when I was cooking it, I always put this little screen guard on it, and we do have those in our collection at Macy's. I hope.
Just in case you're wondering.
Do
We've
you have
thought
our
of it
screen
all.
guard coming? Okay, we should have one here. Well, I have them in every kitchen. I just absolutely have them in
Well, next
every
time I
kitchen.
go to your house, I'll take one home.
And how far do you cook them, Martha? Do you just give them a quick 30 seconds, or do you want them?
Well, not too
Not too
overdone,
long, right?
no.
So to me, that's probably
Yeah,
good.
they look pretty.
Yeah. So we'll take those out.
So we're going to get it a little hotter. We'll try the olive oil. Let's see. I also this is a safflower oil, and if you want, oh yeah, this is a good temperature right now, Curtis. Put some of those in over there, and we'll see if they brown faster in the olive oil.
So I won't put too many.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're right up close to 360. So just put a couple in to start. Make sure that it doesn't sort of react too much because you don't want that oil to bubble over. That's looking good. And you'll see the temperature immediately go from 360 and start to come down. If you ever were to get a flare up, all you do is you go in with the slider and just lift it out.
So look how fast it cooks. Ooh, those are looking good. You have
They
to
look great.
keep them separate.
Yeah, so just move the calamari a little with your spider or your utensil.
That's a very small pan.
It is.
That's a good pan for frying. Cast iron is very, very. Ooh, look how fast.
Isn't that great?
How do you know when it's
Gorgeous.
done cooking?
Oh, look at the difference in color. Olive oil, safflower oil.
So how do you know that it's
Rich, less rich. Because no, it's hard to. It's expensive to fry in olive oil.
It is.
You know, it is, and I like to fry once and that's it. What
Right.
do you do in the restaurant about using the oil?
You know, we don't fry a lot at the restaurant, to be honest. But yeah, no, we
Put some
just
powdered
use it
salt.
once.
See that powdered salt? Now, powdered salt is basically kosher salt that you can grind up really fine in your food processor. If you have a mini food processor, it works really well. Or you can use a mortar and pestle, Or you can find the Japanese powdered salt, which is what they use on the fish collars. You use
Right.
the powders?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that
That's great.
powdered salt.
You'll know when this is cooked by what you'll do is you'll sort of actually have to take one out and you'll cut it. So I'm going to show you over here on my messy board. What we'll do is we'll just cut this in half, and you'll see the colour is white all the way through. If that's undercooked, it'll still be a little opaque. So that's the only real way to know it's cooked. But you'll get used to cooking them, and they literally, in hot oil, will only take 30 seconds or so. A minute at the most.
How are they?
So tender.
So good.
You're right, the olive oil is really good.
It's really good.
Oil?
Oh, you can use half olive oil, half safflower, or grapeseed. Curtis uses grapeseed. See, that doesn't get as well. That's not so hot anymore. See, we're coming down there, even though it's on high.
Right.
So good. Oh, I wanted to do a few zucchinis too. These
yeah.
are the zucchini and yellow squash from my garden, and slice them very, very thinly, and put those in your cornstarch too, with salt. This is going to be a feast, Curtis.
If I've stopped talking, it's because I've got a mouthful of calamari because it's so delicious. Yum.
Okay, so here's our, and see, this is very good to use this strainer. It helps a lot to get the excess. Maybe turn that heat up again. For some reason, this front burner should be a hot burner, but it's
There
not.
we go, it's on high now.
Okay.
So a lot of people are commenting about the colors. Do you like a lighter color versus a
Golden
darker?
color.
Look, the truth is, if you cook it in oil that's hotter, you'll get it brown faster. But you shouldn't wait for it to go brown before you take it out.
No.
Excuse me for jumping in, but
No,
to me,
please.
that way you get, that's how you get overcooked, chewy squid or calamari. And a lot of people will do it, even in restaurants they'll do it, and they'll cook it because we feel like if it's fried, it's got to be brown and crispy. But it's a big mistake because you end up with this like rubbery calamari.
Oh, good. Here, these are ready to go in. There's a few in there, but they can stay.
I'll move that over to the side thing. So this is just sliced zucchini.
Yeah.
And you can
Greek
also,
style
Greek style. You can also do the
or Italian style.
you can do the blossoms as well, can't you? If you
Oh
go
yeah,
this
your
way.
way. Yeah, definitely. I'll make all these because you know why? There's people standing around, mouths watering everywhere. I think it's really a tasty treat. Look at those. Ooh.
Aren't they great?
Yes. Here, we'll have a bunch more. See, that's getting to be even better.
Right.
That's a great question. Barbara wants to know, what do you do with the used oil? If you don't use it again, how do you dispose of it?
Well, I strain it actually, and I do use it. Like if I'm going to use it quickly, another time, right?
can
And
certainly
if
reuse
you're going to use olive oil, if you're going to use it again for potatoes, it tastes very good. Here, Curtis, this is for
For the olive oil.
yeah.
Okay, so just give it.
More at a time, I think. And but you'll know. I mean, you can smell the oil, taste the oil. Don't let it get rancid. Don't let it get strong tasting. Oh yeah, that squid looks beautiful.
Doesn't that look great?
Yeah, and you can make a lemony mayonnaise to dip it in. You could do kind of almost like a hollandaise to dip it in, or
Yeah.
what do you, or a tomato-based sauce.
You could do like an herb emulsion, like like a gremolata kind of
Yeah.
thing. There's so many ways you can serve it. But mayonnaise is a great way as well. I like a little spice, so you could do like a chili mayonnaise.
Oh, that's good
There's
too.
a wet coffee.
I'll rinse. I'll rinse. So we'll need.
So that zucchini is beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's nice too. And that doesn't take very long to cook either. So there. Time for me.
Well, you taught me something. I would never have thought to fry in olive oil, but there you go.
Oh. Yeah, I learned that from Signora Adorni in Forte de Marmi in Italy.
Oh, wow.
She cooked everything in olive oil.
Is that right?
Yep. Well, she lived right next door to Lucca, where
why not?
the home of the best olive oil. I'm going to try this one is the safflower oil. This is the olive oil. I think it's better, olive oil. 100% bigger.
It really is.
Taste, everybody. Sarah. Oh my, taste.
Yum.
Yum is right.
Linda wants to know, could you use peanut oil?
No. Well, you could. I mean, you can use any kind of oil, but these are so pretty too.
Aren't they beautiful?
Yeah, these really need to drain and have to be eaten quickly. You can tell which is which. So great. So I hope all of you have enjoyed watching, learning, and you'll come back next time for Martha's Facebook Live. You never know who's going to show up and who's going to offer fantastic advice. Thank you very much, Curtis.
My
and we
pleasure.
will definitely be visiting you, or at least your restaurant, in L.A.
Oh, yeah,
What are you
we'll be
doing in
there.
New York? Why are you here?
I did a James Beard dinner last night.
Oh, what did you
Yeah.
make?
We did a plum menu because at Maud, the other restaurant in Beverly Hills, we do one ingredient per month, and we do a dozen different dishes with that ingredient. So we did plum, and it was funny because we got to New York, and of course there's been a late snap in the weather here, so we had a late frost, which
And we
means
have no
not many plums.
And not only do we have no plums, I have no apples.
Is that right?
I have probably 1/100th of the apples I had last year.
Oh wow.
And I have a lot of apple trees, and I am very upset. That means no cider. It means no applesauce.
Well, I
mean,
saw
it's-
them in the green market. I was at Union Square yesterday, and it looks like they're just starting. So maybe you're in an area that's a little challenged. But anyway, we made do. We found Italian plums, and we found the variety Italian plums and purple plums. So we did a menu at the James Beard House with that.
So here's a little mayo and a little grated lemon. And you could do, I guess we could put a
Drop
few
some chives.
chives. Yeah, put a few chives in there. And this is for our, now you see what I was doing? I was moving the lemon, and yesterday I was teaching my granddaughter Jude to grate the Parmesan cheese. You hold the lemon and move the grater. It's much easier. And then you get all that nice zest right in the grater. How do you do it?
You're right. That I hold the lemon still and move the grater.
Good. Okay, put that in there. Here's your beautiful cocktail.
Chives.
You know what? He walked off with my cocktail. That publisher of mine. I knew he would do that. So here's that beautiful, here's our salad. Our beautiful calamari. Just pile it all up on a platter. It's a little hot over here, and be very careful when you're frying. Do not get anywhere near that hot oil, and leave it to cool off. These look good. Who wants to try? Want to try some of those? I keep tasting them. They're so good. Oh, somebody put lemon wedges. If you're going to have fried food, which I rarely have, try fried calamari. Everyone in your family or your friends will certainly enjoy this. Here, Curtis, try another. Should I squeeze a little lemon?
Yeah, please. Get over there.
There.
I want to try it with the mayo.
Really tasty, right?
So good.
I could eat a whole lot of those. Oh, those are very hot still.
Yum.
They're not crispy enough. The oil has to be hotter for the zucchini. Enjoy. Bye-bye.